Hey guys, Zuma here from Dagron Gaming, and I'm back with another guide. This time I'll be going over the utility consumables, Observer / Sentry Wards, Town Portal Scroll, Walking / Flying Courier, Dust of Appearance, Smoke of Deceit, and Tome of Knowledge. This video is intended for new players that want to get a slight understanding how early game works. If you want to skip around and learn about each individual item, check the description for timestamps. Before I start though, I just want to ask you to hit that subscribe button as it gives me so much motivation to make more videos like these. After the video, go ahead and hit that like button and leave a comment if you liked it. If you didn't like it, go ahead and hit that dislike button and let me know why in the comments below. Let's get this video started with some basic support items that you should buy at the start of the match. As support, you should buy a Courier, Wards, and Tangos. This totals from 355 gold to 550 gold, depending on if you get both Observer and Sentry Wards. If you're the only support, you don't need to buy Sentry Wards unless you have invisible enemy heroes. If there are two supports, you should split the cost. For example, one support buys Observers and the Courier, while the other gets Sentry Wards. You should also buy some small stat items, but those completely depend on the game. If you're playing core, your starting items will be a little different. I will be making a regen consumables video later on that will play a bigger part as a core in the early game. Now let's move on to explaining each item. Wards are essential in Dota as they give you map control and can be used to hinder the enemy team's farm. Observer Wards cost 65 gold each, and Sentry Wards are purchased in pairs for 200 gold. Observer Wards give you ground vision in a 1600 unit radius around the ward. If the ward is placed on a spot above the surrounding area, you will gain vision of everything it is above. The lower the ward is placed, the less vision it will give. Trees will block that vision, and there are some trees near ward spots that are too high to be seen over. Sentry Wards give you true sight and an 850 unit radius around the ward. Once placed, Sentry Wards will also give you 150 ground vision for 12 seconds. This means that if you're going to destroy wards that are out of vision, you will have a short window to destroy them. Once those 12 seconds are up, you will lose vision and you will need to use other means of getting vision in order to finish dewarding. Observer Wards should be placed in strategic places that will benefit your team the most. Ask your mid where they would like an Observer Ward placed. They will either need vision close to the rune spawn areas in the river to watch out for runes and ganks, or they will need vision on the opposite side of the river in their lane. If your mid player does not respond, go ahead and place them near the rune spawns in the river or areas that an enemy could run through when ganking the lane. If the enemy team has invisible heroes such as Ricky or Bounty Hunter, place a Sentry Ward in your mid lane. The true sight it gives should cover your mid's rear and or side. It all depends on where the invisible hero will be laning. If you are unsure of where to expect the ganks, place the sentry in the very center to cover everything equally. The goal of having a sentry here is to keep your mid from dying from an unexpected attack from an invisible hero. If you are laning against an invisible hero, try to place your other sentry hidden in the trees but close enough that it will still give you vision of your lane. The enemy will most likely get a sentry ward to destroy your ward, so keeping them hidden is a good idea. You can start off by putting the ward in lane to give you the most vision when laning, but if the enemy is destroying them, try to hide the new wards. If there are multiple supports and there are no invisible enemies, use the sentry wards to destroy the enemy wards. Keep an eye on common warding spots when the match starts. Observer wards will give you 100 gold and 25 experience when you destroy them. While this is not much, it is still a good way to make up for the farm you will be missing out on at the start of the game. Sentry wards will give you no gold or experience. Wards can also be used to block camps. If the enemy has a jungler, you can give up some vision to hinder their farm. This can actually be game changing as some teams will pick greedy heroes, so taking away the jungle will give you a great advantage. There are two types of warding during a match of Dota, offensive and defensive. It's as simple as it sounds pretty much. Defensive wards are placed on your side of the map. For example, placing one on the other side of the trees in your lane will keep you from getting ganked from out of vision. Offensive wards are placed on their side of the map. For example, placing a ward in their jungle or near their shrines to keep track of when and where they farm. Observer wards will start with a stock of 2 and replenish 1 ward every 150 seconds. There can only be a max stock of 4 observer wards at a time. There is always an unlimited supply of sentry wards available at the shop. The Courier is the most important item to buy at the start of every single batch of Dota. The Animal Courier, or Walking Courier as most people call it, costs 100 gold. 3 minutes into a match, it can be upgraded to a Flying Courier for 150 gold. The Courier is used to transport items from your fountain or other shop to your hero. This saves valuable time during a match. Every match of Dota should have a Courier. If no one purchases one, your team will most likely get angry and give up. The support will most likely get blamed. Make sure you purchase one if you are playing support, and as soon as the Flying Courier becomes available, purchase it as well. If you cannot afford it, Let your team know that you will purchase the Fliinn Courier as soon as you can. Ask your carrier if you can take a few last hits to help speed things up. Smoke of Deceit is a simple 50 gold item that is purchasable only at the fountain. Once used, Smoke will turn all allied units within a 1200 unit radius invisible and increase move speed by 15% for 35 seconds. True Sight will not reveal any unit under the effect of Smoke. This means that you're able to sneak into enemy territory without having to worry about them having vision of that area. Casting spells and using items will not break the invisibility. Invisibility can only be broken when coming within a 1025 unit range of a tower or an enemy hero, or a hero clone. It can also be broken by attacking creeps. Illusions cannot break the invis, so try not to reveal yourself when coming across an illusion. Just make sure to pay attention and to use the full value of the smoke. Smoke is by far one of the most cost-effective items in Dota. For only 50 gold, you will completely disappear off the face of the map. Early in a match, Smoke is by far the best way to set up a gank on any lane. When playing support, picking up one of these extremely cheap items will allow you to gank lanes to help further your team core's farm, while also hindering the enemy team's farm. Some important things you should also know. Smoke can be used by the Courier, but it will remain unaffected. If you don't have room for one, simply call the Courier over and use it when you're ready. Smoke can also be used to dodge spells that require vision to hit. Zeus's ult is an example of this. Sniper's ult can also be disjointed with Smoke. Smoke is a perfect item for heroes planning to take down Roshan, since you will be able to enter the pit undetected. Dust of Appearance is an item that can be used to detect invisible enemies. This item costs 180 gold and gives you 2 charges each time it's purchased, with each charge having a cooldown of 30 seconds. Once used, it will apply a debuff, revealing invisible enemy heroes and placing a 20% movement speed slow in a 1050 unit radius from where it was used. Dust is perfect when playing against heroes with spells or items that turn them invisible. Doesn't matter what role you play, someone on your team should have Dust on them when facing invisible heroes. Keep in mind that Dust can be dispelled by some abilities, like most illusion creating spells and Slark's Dark Impact. A Town Portal Scroll is a very simple item. For only 50 gold, it allows you to teleport to any friendly building. After a minimum channeling time of 3 seconds, your hero will be transported to the selected location. If multiple heroes are teleporting to the same location at the same time, the second person to teleport will have a 5-second channel time. All the following channels take 0.5 seconds longer than the previous one. If someone is getting ganked, try to teleport in and save them. One of the most important rules of Dota is to always carry a TP scroll. Even if you only have it in your backpack, it is better than being completely unprepared. Tome of Knowledge gives experience to anyone that uses it. For 150 gold, you can get an extra 500 experience, plus 100 experience per tome consumed by anyone on your team. Tome will only become available 10 minutes after the first creep wave, and will replenish every 10 minutes. There can only be a max stock of 3 in the shop at a time, just like the Smoke of Deceit. There is no limit to how much experience tomes will give you. Tome is fully shareable, so you can purchase this for anyone on your team. The person behind on levels should purchase these for themselves. As a support, you don't always have to buy them for your cores. If you spend all your money helping cores, you will not have any late game impact. It is impossible for a core to go 1v5, especially late game. Even a few low level spells can make a difference, so higher level spells will be a huge advantage. That will be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. The more people that like these, the more I'll make. There's also a chance I'll be doing a stream to show you how bad I am while explaining hero builds. This will be easier than making a video for just one hero, because there are a lot of different builds you can have. Like I've said before, every item is situational. Thank you for watching.